If you know Twin Peaks, you know the Double R Diner. It's the place for a hot cup of black coffee and a slice of cherry pie. Twin Peaks aired over 30 years ago, but the iconic diner is real, and it's still going strong. I'm Scoutmaster Demi, and I traveled way out to TWEDE'S Diner in Washington to see what the fuss is all about. So much of Twin Peaks, the TV show, was filmed about 30 minutes away from Seattle. This is North Bend, a small rural area whose recent claim to fame is 4 zebras escaping from the zoo, and no, that is not a joke. 3 of them were caught within hours, but the 4th one, named Sugar, took almost a week of white bread and oats to recapture. This whole North Bend area, it's cold but magical. I can see how David Lynch fell in love with the area as he dreamt up Twin Peaks. It's a show that's older than me, but it's possibly my favorite show ever. Don't really want to spoil much about it, but just know that it was a 90s cultural phenomenon that really set the standard for cinematic TV shows years before HBO or The Sopranos existed. It was especially loved overseas. Japan loved it so much, they commissioned Twin Peaks commercials for their canned coffee products.
Incredible. You two have got to try this. It's rich. Man, oh man, this Georgia is damn fine coffee.
It's true.
So yeah, that's a good enough reason to trek through this freezing cold, right? I entered TWEDE'S Cafe ready for some warm coffee, but what I wasn't ready for was just how eerie the restaurant feels. The red vinyl chairs, the center booth for servers. I thought over the course of 30 years that there'd be more changes, but it's nearly identical to the show. Well, I did some digging, and this is not how TWEDE'S always looked. Take a look at this interview from 2014. You can see a similar shape, but the colors and layout are vastly different. Here's the deal. Twin Peaks filmed at this diner way back in 1990, back when it was called the Marti. In 1997, Kyle Tweed bought it and renamed it, but in 2000, a burglar entered TWED'S Cafe, stole $450, and lit the building on fire to cover up his tracks. As Kyle Tweed rebuilt his landmark, he probably changed the layout for cost-saving purposes, but at some point it swapped back to the Twin Peaks look, right? So in 2015, filming for the latest season began, the set designers recreated that older look, and I think Kyle Tweed just decided to keep it. I'm glad he did, because wow, it's just such a striking feeling here, holding a menu from a show that I love. I scanned through it, but let's be real. There is only 2 things I need to order. First, I don't drink much coffee, so naturally I ordered a cup. Honestly, the black coffee was pretty darn good. Second, I don't eat much fruit, so naturally I ordered a cherry pie. And that, my fellow scouts, that converted me. A good slice of cherry pie is something really special. I'm no expert, but this could very well be where pies go when they die.
This must be where pies go when they die.
I left the table to explore, and I saw all sorts of merch and interesting items. Actually, you can order a lot of the merch online, including full-blown cherry pies, coffee beans, and coffee mugs. They are quite pricey, but hey, there's a ton of good reviews from folks who love them. I think it's less about eating a great pie and more about supporting a landmark you care about. For example, let's examine the most recent owners, who, by the way, are not related to Kyle Tweed. I think they kept the TWED'S Diner name to pay respects and to not have to redo all the logos. They purchased the cafe right before COVID-19, which is very unfortunate, but the strong support of fans kept it alive. Then in 2023, there was a Kickstarter by the cafe for $15,000. The goal was to recreate a real-life Double R neon sign, but in doing so, they raised nearly double their goal. What can I say? Fans around here are just built different. As such, I felt like I needed to do just a little bit more to do my part as a fan, so I scattered out the cookie aisle. I wouldn't call the names eloquent, like Laura Palmer's memorable pink cookies or my choice, Harry's Reese's peanut butter cookies. I don't know, maybe just call it the Laura Palmer or Harry Truman, just a thought. Either way, I went out in the frigid winds and I took that cookie home with me. So what's my take on the real life Double R? I enjoyed the food, and that's really saying something because again, your Scoutmaster is a weirdo who doesn't care much for coffee or fruit. I love the atmosphere and how authentic it is. I mean, straight up, it was recreated by the official Twin Peaks team, so yeah, that's a canon event. Folks who aren't into Twin Peaks may feel put off by all the merchandise, but that's a small price to pay to keep a small business running. Twin Peaks may be over, but Tweed's Cafe is here to last. I'm Scoutmaster Demi, and I'll see you next week.